All right, next we look at what are the tips for paper submission. Now, here are the tips. First, do not rush to submit your paper. Okay. Read your manuscript carefully at different times before you submit it to identify problems and shortcomings in your manuscript. This is what I mean. You should have the thermal expansion and cold contraction after you finish your manuscript. You need to have this hot and cooling process to find the problems in your writing. If you rush to submit your paper, you think I've done my job, but it's full of mistakes, you only ensure that your paper is going to be rejected. Second tip, let other professionals read your paper. Invite your colleagues or other researchers in your field to read your paper to seek critical comments. Okay, this is after you finish. You do not submit immediately. You get other people to read it for you. You think your paper is good enough, but after you have other people read it for you, you find a lot of problems that you do not see earlier. The third tip is leave a good impression with your title and abstract. Specifically, you should try to impress the editor with an incredible and interesting title. Remember, let's say you have a fancy title, to be or not be humorous. Okay, idols as a sun sign or road sign. Okay, or whoever is influential is creative. Okay, this is the example that I have in previous talk that I suggest to you. Gave some really interesting title. Be imaginative. And you should have a flawless abstract, as this is what editor will look at first. Don't leave a bad impression at first. The title should summarize the main theme of your paper. The abstract should reflect your contribution in the field. The abstract should be concise and include all the key points in your paper. The fourth tip is have a professional editing firm copy edit your manuscript if you can, or try to have a professional editing agency or person to copy edit your manuscript before you submit your paper. Try to seek discipline appropriate editing agency to do the copy editing for you. Now, I know this is expensive. I know it may not appeal to you at first, but if your language is good, the editor may decide to accept your paper just because it's so fluent to read. If your language is so bad, even though the studies done are very good, the editor will get upset, or reviewer will get upset reading your paper along the way. So you have to keep this in mind. And here, I want you to be careful with what I call error detection numbness. The error detection numbness, what I call ODN, may be defined as a writer's numbness for detecting errors in texts out of continuous writing on a topic. In other words, a writer will typically develop a numbness for identifying errors or mistakes in his or her writing for having repeatedly written on a topic. Yeah, after written for so long, you think everything's so good. I give it to another person, they'll find mistakes on the first page. So tips for avoiding error detection numbness. First, read and reread the paper. This is why after you've done it, you leave some time, read again, you can find the problems in your paper. Second, read the paper aloud. When read it aloud, it's easier, or it will be more likely for you to find the problems in your paper. Third, reread the paper after leaving it aside for some time. You will not be able to find mistakes after you finish the draft immediately. You have to leave some time. This is what I call the thermal expansion and cold contraction processing of writing. Fourth, invite others to read your paper. I always recommend this. I know this could be hard because other people are busy, but if this someone is important enough, you can even invite this person to be on your author list. Enlist this person as an author, and then he will be more committed to do the reading and revising. And fifth point, pay others to copy edit your paper. It happens. Now, even for me, I studied English at college. I studied English at my university. It's called the Beijing Second Foreign Language Institute at the time. Now it's called Beijing International Studies University. So my English was pretty good to start with. Still, when I wrote my papers, I still have my favorite copy editors for me. I would invite people, a few people that I trusted so far to revise my paper. Even when I was doing my dissertation at Harvard, I've done that. I pay other people to do the proofreading for me, and that's not considered inappropriate because it's not I'm asking people to do my work. It's that I'm asking people to improve the language of my work. And this is like periodically I would get an email like this. It's called Asian Edit. It's going to promote his services to other people. So I even contact this person to do the proofread for me. And you can see this is one of the pages that he's done editing for me. I thought my English is good enough, but in his mind, there's still a lot to improve. So I was impressed. I didn't notice that even though my passage is grammatically appropriate, but idiomatically, there are still many problems that need to be improved. And having done all of this, my paper was accepted. This is the exciting moment. Dear Dr. Yue, I'm pleased to tell you that the work has been accepted for publication in Psychological Reports. From this point on, your manuscript will be handled by the SAGE production team. SAGE will send you your invoice for page fees, and SAGE will schedule the publication date of your manuscript. If you have questions regarding either of these processes, please write. All right, you can see the discovery process finally is a rewarding moment. So if a paper is accepted by a target journal, what should you do? You should thank the journal and ask about the journal's policy on electronic and hard copy of the paper before it is published. And when you're given a publication date by the editor, you may inform your institution so as to include it in your annual appraisal. You may promote the publication on ResearchGate or some other academic platforms.